On tap, Westvleteren 12. Hi, I'm Joby Johnston and this is your Better Beer Authority. Today we have a world-class beer and a show with a unique twist. I'm hosting and we only have one panelist, Mr. James Knott, the regular host of the Better Beer Authority. Westvleteren 12, nicknamed Westy 12, is brewed in the Westvleteren Brewery at the Abbey of St. Sixtus in Belgium. It was rated as the #1 beer in the world by ratebeer.com in 2012. This Belgian quadruple is a tough beer to get a hold of here in the United States. The brewery's website says it's only available for sale at the brewery and you need a reservation to purchase it. However, the bottle that we're drinking today comes to us from friends of the show. Thanks, Ben and Lindsay. This is one of only 7 Trappist breweries in the world. Monks brew about 160,000 cases of this beer per year, and proceeds benefit their Abbey community. This beer is 10.2% ABV and comes in an 11.2 ounce bottle. The bottles have no labels, so all the legal information is squeezed into the top of the bottle cap. James, best beer in the world here. What do you think?
I think there's a lot of pressure talking about this beer. That's what I think. I mean, the first thing is when you pour it, you can see it has a nice head, but the head is more kind of like soapy than creamy. The bubbles are a little bit larger, and that kind of stuck out to me. The head doesn't stick around too long, and there's not a lot of lacing on the glass. But then when you smell it, it's really dark fruits, sugar sweetness that you smell to it. Kind of plum was the first word that came to my mind when I was smelling it.
Yeah. Figure like plum or like figs or, dark dates or, something in the dark fruit category.
Yeah. But I mean, it's a nice looking beer. It's, it's not overly dark. I would call it kind of cloudy, but dark amber. And but then when you taste it, the first thing that stuck out to me was the alcohol, the warming going down the back of your throat. And it's that 10.2%. I mean, it's very present. It's not hidden in the beer, really. I mean, it is after a couple sips. And the more you have, this beer seems to get easier and easier to drink.
Right.
I could definitely see this one getting me into a lot of trouble.
So at the start of the show, you kind of said, there's a big hype around this beer. Like, if you didn't know if it was the #1 beer on ratebeer.com, would you be so pumped and excited to try this one?
Well, being rated #1 definitely ups the curiosity level. And I think, for other reviewers, I mean, it's got to affect their ratings. I mean, I wish that this was a blind tasting. There was no way it really could be a blind tasting because of how we got it. But I wish this could be a blind tasting.
Yeah.
Because it's so hard to go into this without any bias at all.
Right.
I mean, on one hand, you have this is the best beer in the world, but how good could it be?
Right.
And I can tell you, this is a good beer, but is it my top beer? It's probably not my top beer.
Okay. Like, is there any particular situations you can see yourself drinking this besides like a birth of a children or, your bar mitzvah or...
Oh, I mean, if I had regular access to this beer, I could definitely see myself, especially like in the winter, to pour a glass of it and just have like one glass if I had a fireplace sitting around the fire.
Yeah.
But, while I was just kind of chilling out, and I could definitely see myself just having a glass now and then. It's nice and it's very pleasant. It doesn't have like a lot of the roasted characteristics that you get from the stouts, and it doesn't have the hoppy characteristics that you get from an Imperial IPA. It is definitely a malt-forward beer, very sweet. It's got a nice caramel flavor to it. So it kind of fills in this gap in the middle between the two types of beer.
Right. So I'm assuming that quadruple is one of the harder beers to brew. Therefore, probably upping its stake to getting the number one rating. Do you think the type of beer lends itself to the higher rating? For instance, a lager is never going to be the number one beer in the world.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. I mean, beer geeks are going to go for high ABV beers. They're going to go for something that's a little more complex. And this kind of fits that bill, But I also think, like, lately, the way the American craft beer scene is with these really big hoppy beers and these really huge imperial stouts, I mean, this beer is starting to get a lot of competition. So, I mean, this is a great beer. People should definitely try it. Don't be afraid to try it because of all the hype. Go out of your way and find this and try it. But, lower your expectations a little. This is still just a beer. It's still just barley and hops and a little bit of brewing sugar. I mean, but it's good.
So, you sit on this side of the desk a lot, and a lot of people in the comments section always want to know what you rate the beer. Well, you're on that side of the desk, so James, what's your rating?
Well, best beer in the world, but I can't go 10. I can't go 9. I have to go 8. But on our rating scale, 8 is still recommended. I recommend it. I have nothing bad to say about this beer, but in the wide scheme of things, when I'm going to grab a beer, this is probably not going to be the first one I'm going to. However, if I was going to go to a Belgian beer bar and they had this on sale, this would come over a lot of the other Belgian, like, high yeast beers that are there. Like, I really do like this beer. So I'm going 8. 8 is great.
8 is great. Well, there you have it. Westy 12 gets an 8 on the BBA scale. Ben, Lindsay, thanks again for sending it to us. Very hard to get here in the U.S., and you guys brought it back from Belgium and sent us a bottle, so we really appreciate it. For James, I'm Joby. This is your Better Beer Authority.
Better Beer Authority. Better Beer Authority.